Ready to escape into a world of enchanting pixels? What is up, my peeps? And today we're going to be reading Toy Story Storybook Collection. Specifically, the first story from this book. In this video, at least. So here's the table of contents. And here is the first story. A new toy. Andy was a young boy with many toys. He loved playing with all of them, but his favorite was Sheriff Woody. Woody was an old-fashioned cowboy doll with a pull string. He had been Andy's best friend since Andy was in kindergarten. He even had a special spot on Andy's bed where he slept each night. Kinda reminds me of myself. Anyway, Woody and Andy had all kinds of exciting adventures together. Andy had a playset of an old western town. When Woody caught bandits in the town, Andy pulled his string. "Reach for the sky," Woody would say. Once the good guys were all safe and the town was peaceful again, Andy would pull Woody's string. "You're my favorite deputy," the cowboy said. One day while Andy was playing with his toys, his mother called out, "Your friends are going to be here any minute." "Okay," Andy said, "it's party time." He ran up the stairs to his room and dropped Woody on his bed. Then he went to the crib and picked up his little sister. "Molly, see you later, Woody," he called over his shoulder as he left the room. When everyone... Wait, hold on, did I skip a page? Oh my goodness, I did skip a page. Oops. My bad. After Andy and Molly left, the room was quiet for a moment. Then Woody sat up and rubbed his head. "Pull my string," he said. Pull my string, he said. "The birthday party's today." Woody waved at the other toys in the room. "Okay, everybody, coast is clear," he called out. Slowly, the rest of Andy's toys came out of their spots in the closet, out from underneath the bed, and out of the toy chest. Woody dropped down from the bed onto the floor. All around him, toys stretched and chatted. Something they could only do when there were no humans around to see them. Woody looked around the room until he saw the toy he was trying to find. Hey, Slinky," Woody said as Slinky Dog approached. "I got some bad news." "Bad news?" Slinky Dog cried. "Shush," Woody whispered. "Just gather everyone up for a staff meeting and be happy." When everyone was ready, Woody said, "Okay, first item today. Has everyone picked a moving buddy?" Andy and his family were moving to a new house in 1 week. Woody didn't want any toys to get lost or be left behind. Woody made a couple more announcements. Then, when he couldn't hide the bad news any longer, he lowered his voice and said, minor note here. Andy's birthday party has been moved to today." "What?" all of the toys yelled at once. Woody explained that this was because of the move, but the toys were worried. Every time Andy got a present, they were afraid it would replace one of them. "No one's getting replaced," Woody said. Then Ham announced that the kids were arriving, and Woody sent the Green Army men downstairs with a baby monitor. They would radio up descriptions of each present as it was unwrapped. Andy got a new lunchbox and board game, as well as a few other presents. Then his mother pulled out one last gift. Before Sarge could give a full report, the baby monitor cut out. The toys were frantic to know what the last present was. Just then, Andy and his friends raced into the room. Andy dropped the last present on his bed. Then the kids ran back downstairs. Woody was on the floor, surrounded by the other toys. They looked at him, wondering what to do next. "Let's all be polite and give whatever it is up there a nice big Andy's room welcome," he said. Woody pulled himself up over the edge of the bed. The last present was a new toy. He was a bright plastic action figure in a spacesuit. "Howdy," Woody said. "My name is Woody. I'm Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger," the new toy said. The other toys crept closer to meet Buzz. They were impressed by his laser and the wings that popped out of his backpack. "Really? Buzz wears a backpack? I guess he kind of does have a backpack-ish design on his back. Huh, interesting. I always thought it was like a jetpack or something on his back. Anyway, Buzz thought he was a real space ranger, sworn to protect the galaxy from the evil Emperor Zurg. The toys listened to his tales of adventures in awe. Then Buzz showed them how he can fly. He bounced off a rubber ball, rode around a racetrack loop, and swung from a model airplane. Woody didn't think Buzz was all that special. That wasn't flying, he said. That was falling, with style. But no one listened to him. They were too busy helping Buzz repair a spaceship and trying his workout plan. What the heck? Buzz has a workout plan? Okay. I honestly didn't even notice that when watching the movie, honestly. Anyway, the other toys weren't the only ones who thought Buzz was having a lot of fun. Suddenly, he had become Andy's favorite toy. Woody looked on sadly as Andy traded his cowboy hat for a space helmet. He replaced his cowboy sheets with new Buzz Lightyear ones. And worst of all, Buzz took Woody's special spot on the bed while Woody slept in the toy chest. One evening, Andy's mom took him and Molly to Pizza Planet. She said he could bring one toy with them. Woody wanted to be that toy. He planned to knock Buzz behind the desk where Andy couldn't find him, but instead Buzz fell out the window. The other toys glared at Woody. They thought he was trying to get rid of Buzz because he didn't like being replaced as Andy's favorite toy. Wait a minute, Woody said. It was an accident. I can explain everything. Andy burst into the room before Woody could finish. Be right down, he called out. I've got to get Buzz. When he couldn't find the Space Ranger anywhere, he grabbed Woody. Then he ran downstairs and hopped into the car. Oh, now that makes sense why he wanted to take Buzz Lightyear to Pizza Planet, because it makes sense that Buzz would probably like that kind of place. Huh. That makes sense, actually. Anyway. Buzz watched Andy from underneath a shrub. As the car started up, he ran and leapt onto the car's bumper. Oh, there's the car's reference, Dinoco. A lot of people seem to forget that Dinoco actually didn't first debut in Cars. It actually first debuted in Toy Story. It just so happens to become very popular among the two franchises. Anyway, when Andy's mother pulled into a gas station, Buzz jumped into the backseat with Woody. Buzz, you're alive, Woody said excitedly. This is great. You can tell everyone that this was all just a big mistake. Woody smiled. Buzz wasn't happy, though. He tackled Woody so hard that they both fell out of the car. They were so busy fighting, they didn't even notice Andy and his mom get back into the car until it drove off. Doesn't he realize I'm not there? Woody said, as he watched the car disappear. I'm a lost toy. Buzz was talking into his wrist communicator, trying to call for help. You're a toy, Woody yelled at the Space Ranger. You aren't the real Buzz Lightyear. Buzz shrugged. You're a sad, strange little man, he said. Then he started to walk off. Woody wanted to let him go, but just then a Pizza Planet delivery truck pulled into the gas station. Woody knew he couldn't return to Andy's room without Buzz. He told the Space Ranger he found a spaceship that would help them get home. The two toys climbed into the truck. When they arrived at Pizza Planet, Woody led the Space Ranger over to Andy and his family. They needed to get close enough to hop into the basket of Molly's stroller. Okay, Buzz, get ready and... Buzz! Woody turned around to see Buzz striding towards the rocket ship crane game. He thought it was a real spaceship. Buzz climbed the game and fell into a pile of toy aliens. Woody followed. Suddenly, Woody gasped. Sid, he said, get down. Sid was Andy's neighbor. He liked to destroy his toys for fun. The claw started to move. It clamped on Buzz. Woody grabbed Buzz's foot to hold him down, but it was no use. They were both pulled into the air. All right, Sid cheered as Woody and Buzz dropped into the prize slot. Double prizes! Sid reached into the door to the prize slot and picked up Woody and Buzz. He smiled at his two new toys. Let's go home and play, he said with a wicked laugh. Woody knew they were doomed. They might be taken apart or blown up. But worst of all, they'd never see Andy again. Oh, so apparently... Oh, I guess it's split up between two different stories. Well, okay then. I guess if I want to finish reading the rest of the storybook adaptation of Toy Story 1, I guess I'm going to have to read Moving Day, too. Okay, then. Wasn't expecting this, but let's keep going. Sid was Andy's next-door neighbor. He wasn't very nice to his toys. He'd take them apart, then attach one toy's head or legs to another's body. Sid had won Woody the Cowboy and Buzz Lightyear the Space Ranger in a game at Pizza Planet. Woody and Buzz had been at the restaurant looking for Andy. Also, why do I think that Pizza Planet was like a reference to Chuck E. Cheese? I mean, that would make sense. Anyway, as Woody looked around Sid's room, some of Sid's toys came out from their hiding places. "They're gonna eat us, Buzz," Woody yelled. "Use your karate chop action." Buzz and Woody managed to escape from Sid's toys. They ran out into the hallway and came face to face with Sid's dog, Scud. Woody ducked into a closet. Buzz hid in a dark room behind the door. Suddenly, Buzz heard a voice saying, "Calling Buzz Lightyear, this is Star Command." Buzz looked up at the TV. The voice was coming from an ad for Buzz Lightyear toys. It continued, "The world's greatest superhero, now the world's greatest toy." Not a flying toy. Buzz stared in shock at the TV. He couldn't believe what he had just heard. He wondered if Woody had been right all along. Was he really just a toy? The Space Ranger walked out of the room feeling sad. He looked out an open window at the blue sky and watched a bird fly by. He kept hearing Woody's voice in his head saying, "You were a toy, you can't fly." He hung his head against the railing over the stairs. Then he had an idea. He would prove to Woody that he could fly. He was a Space Ranger. Buzz climbed up and stood on top of the railing. He opened his wings, then he leaped. "To infinity and beyond," he called out. He hung in the air for a moment and then started to fall. He crashed onto the floor at the bottom of the stairs, breaking off his left arm. Ouch, that's gotta hurt, honestly. When Woody found him, Buzz was upset, but he understood that he was a toy. Woody was desperate to get them both back to Andy's house. He ran to the open window and called out, "Hey guys!" Andy's toys appeared in the window next door. They were surprised Woody was there. "Oh boy, am I glad to see you guys," Woody said. "Here, catch this." He tossed a string of Christmas lights over to them so he and Buzz could climb across, but Buzz wouldn't move. Woody held out Buzz's broken arm to show that he was with him. The other toys didn't believe Woody. They thought he had hurt their new friend. Woody felt terrible. When he turned around to tell Buzz, he saw Sid's mutant toys closing in around the Space Ranger. Woody ran over to hold them back, but they took Buzz's arm and pushed the cowboy away. Then after a few minutes, the mutant toys stepped away from Buzz. They'd reattached his arm. Woody couldn't believe it. Suddenly, the other toys scurried off. Sid was coming. Woody hid under a milk crate, but Buzz wouldn't move. When Sid walked in the room, he held out a rocket. "I've always wanted to put a spaceman into orbit," he said. Then he taped the rocket to Buzz. Sid was about to take Buzz outside when he saw a flash of lightning. "Oh no," Sid cried. He looked at the rocket. The launch would have to wait until tomorrow. All night, Woody tried to convince Buzz to help him escape. He knew Andy's family was moving the next day and they had to get home, but Buzz didn't care about going home. "Andy's house, Sid's house, what's the difference?" he said. "I'm just a little insignificant toy." "Look," Woody said, "over there, and over in that house is a kid who thinks you are the greatest, and it's not because you're a Space Ranger, pal. It's because you're a toy. His toy." I thought that said history for a second. Oops. Woody tried to convince Buzz all night long, but Buzz didn't even move until he looked at the bottom of his boot. Andy had written his name there. Then Buzz knew what he had to do. He walked over to Woody. "Come on, Sheriff," he said. "There's a kid over in that house who needs us." Buzz helped Woody out from under the milk crate. Before they could escape, Sid woke up and grabbed Buzz. "Time for liftoff," he cried as he ran out of the room. Woody asked Sid's toys to help him. "We're gonna have to break a few rules," he said, "but if it works, it'll help everybody." The toys raced outside. Buzz was in position to be launched. Sid got ready to light the rocket. Suddenly he heard, "Reach for the sky." He turned around and saw Woody. He picked up the cowboy. Then Sid's toys came out from their hiding places in the yard. Soon, Sid was surrounded by all of the toys he'd hurt. Sid looked at the toys around him. As each one came closer, he panicked more and more. Woody kept speaking to Sid, which made the boy even more scared. "From now on, you must take good care of your toys, because if you don't, we'll find out, Sid." Then Woody leaned in close and pointed at Sid. So play nice. Sid screamed and dropped Woody. He ran into the house and slammed the door. The toys cheered. Woody helped Buzz down off the launching pad. That's when he saw the moving truck pulling out of Andy's driveway. Woody ran through the hole in the fence, but the rocket on Buzz's back got stuck. Just go, Buzz called to Woody. I'll catch up. When Woody realized Buzz was stuck, he ran back to help him. The two toys ran down the street, chasing the truck. Buzz was the first one there. He grabbed a loose strap and pulled himself on the truck's bumper. Woody was right behind him. Come on, Buzz. Come on, Buzz said. You can do it, Woody. Woody grabbed the strap and started to pull himself up, but something grabbed his boot. It was Scud. Buzz saved Woody by jumping onto Scud's head, but the truck was moving away quickly. Woody climbed onto the back of the van and rummaged through the boxes. So it's a van. Anyway. The other toys didn't know what he was doing. Finally, Woody found what he was looking for. RC car! He sent RC out after Buzz, but Andy's other toys were upset with Woody. They still thought he'd hurt Buzz, so they pushed him out of the truck. Then they watched as Buzz and RC picked up Woody. Buzz had the remote control and was speeding towards the truck. The toys realized it had all been a misunderstanding. Slinky Dog stretched himself... Wait. Hold on. Did I skip anything? Okay, no, I didn't. 41, 42. Okay. Slinky Dog stretched himself out as far as he could, but they still couldn't get close enough. Suddenly, RC started slowing down. His batteries had run out. Woody watched sadly as the truck drove away. Then Buzz remembered the rocket on his back. They lit it and zoomed closer to the truck. RC landed easily in the back, but Woody and Buzz were launched into the sky. Buzz snapped open his wings. He and Woody broke free of the rocket. Buzz, you're flying, Woody exclaimed. This isn't flying, Buzz said. This is falling, with style. The two toys flew towards Andy's car. They dropped through the open sunroof and landed safely on the back seat. Andy turned and saw the cowboy and Space Ranger. Woody, Buzz, he shouted. He was happy to have his two favorite toys back. Ow. Woody and Buzz settled into Andy's new house. With the rest of his toys, they were happy to be home. When Christmas rolled around, the toys sat near the baby monitor to listen as Andy opened his gifts. You're not worried, are you? Woody asked Buzz. No, replied Buzz nervously. Are you? Now, Buzz, what could Andy possibly get that's worse than you? Woody teased. They listened as the first present was opened. Woof, woof. Wow, a puppy, Andy cried. Buzz and Woody looked at each other and laughed. At least it wasn't a toy. The end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to y'all later.